Hello, we are live for today's episode of the Xander Gibb Show. We are in pre-production mode. We're just sharing the feeds, just making sure we're going out on all of the channels. Looks like we are. So we're halfway there. We're part way there. I am Xander Gibb, if you haven't guessed. And I am just sharing the page to various places so people can watch along with us. Where are we? Can't find. There we go. Using a wireless mouse. Hello, Mel. Welcome. We are in production mode. We are just getting ready for the Xander Gibb Show. Please feel free to click that share button now. And when I say share, I mean share as in share, not as in whoa. Here we go. That's shared to Facebook. Just got to get the YouTube link. Because I know lots of people like to watch it on the big screen. Why you'd want to see my face on the big screen, I do not know. But there you go. We are working hard on the night shift on the Xander Gibb Show. Not going to sing, don't worry. Here we go. Just getting the YouTube link so that people can watch on there should they desire. Don't forget, if you are in the live feed, click that share button and tell people you are watching. Submit. And this bit is pretty boring because we are just, getting ready. Hey, Dave, welcome. What's this? You had an 8-hour ban from Facebook for, what was it? Punctuation or some BS like that. You cannot win with these assholes at Facebook. They even had the audacity to say to me today that I'd shared something that was not true because they were protecting AOC. But alas, it does not detract from the truth of the situation. Just need to share a little more before we start the show. Got a lot of good stuff coming up for you tonight. Some fabulous guests. And some even more, well, not even more, but equally fabulous callers. Hello, chat. Welcome to the show. I was sharing with chat earlier, actually, that I was the victim of homophobic racism earlier. I went into my garage to get something out of there. I was feeling kind of butch. And I went to get a wrench or a hammer or something. And there was a noose attached to the garage door. And I went all bubber. I was like, who do I call about this? So, as you can imagine, I was most concerned. And I called Maxine Waters at Chet's suggestion. Because who do you call in a situation like this when you are a vulnerable, gay, conservative, black person? Because that's kind of, what does that say? You all PolitiFact banned something I posted about them and me. You know what it is, don't you? It's Facebook is whack. Where are we? What? Okay, so yes, so there was a noose. There was a noose loose about my hoose today. So yeah, maybe I will call the ACLU if I even knew what it stood for. Uh, but can you believe how ridiculous that was? And I tweeted, funnily enough, to Bubba, what a name, that he was twinned with Jussie Smollett or whatever, Jussie Towlett or whatever his name is. Um, but I don't know. It's kind of worrying that they're trying to kind of put badness where it isn't. They're trying to create racism where it isn't. And I don't know. Clearly, they do want a race war on the left. Um, I don't know where the hell I am with this sharing. I need to hire somebody who wants to work for me, who wants to share the show, and I'll pay you for doing it, like a nominal fee. Or I'll give you a producer's credit or a t-shirt that says, "Oh, yes, sirree," on it, or something like that. Because it's kind of, it takes, sometimes you can just go bum, 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 and it's all done. But other times you've got to, I'm a bit dubious about sharing in this group now called It's Okay to Be White, because every time I share in it, I get called a racist. A racist? That was quite wabbit, so weaselly, recognized, folks. Talking of White Lives Matter, as we were, there was a ball game in the UK today, and I shared on yesterday's show that 3 white guys who happened to be gay were killed yesterday by a Libyan fundamental Islamic terrorist, and not a whisper about it, And so basically a plane flew by with a banner on it that said, "White Lives Matter." Can anyone get what the response was to that? So we've seen Black Lives Matter. 3 white people were killed yesterday by, I'm going to say it again, a radical Islamic terrorist from Libya. Hi, Yvonne. Hope you're good. Guess what the level of response was to the White Lives Matter banner? I'll give you a second to guess, and then I'm going to tell you. Because I was astounded at the level of response to this. To me, it's standard because, all life matters. And if we can say that, if we can say Black Lives Matter, why can't we say White Lives Matter? No, the response was, Chet, the response was that to say White Lives Matter is racist. But it's not racist to say that Black Lives Matter. And so when Katie, I can't think of her last name. Katie, I want to say Tunstall, but that's not it. Katie basically turned around and said how, the hypocrisy of it. They called her a racist for saying it was hypocritical. So the thing is that what we're supposed to do now is we're supposed to shut up. We're supposed to say nothing. We're supposed to accept these labels. Hi, my Gina. Hope you're good. We're supposed to say like zero, zippo, zilch about it, and just actually hope that people won't accuse us. Hi, Swoop. Swoop is going to be our guest later on in the show. And hope that people don't call us racist for not having an opinion that differs. But I'm tired of it. So I've actually got to the point where I think you can call me whatever you want to call me. It doesn't change my opinion. It doesn't make me any of the things that you're saying that I am. But most importantly, what it does, it actually highlights your racism. Because if you're calling me a racist for disagreeing, then also not only are you racist, but you're Xanderphobic. So to all the Xanderphobes out there, get out of my face, guys. So we have to come back with some level of response because, Swoop always tells me off. He always says, I shouldn't even, come back with any kind of answer. But sometimes it's actually so frustrating being called these things that you actually want to say something back. We are nearly there with the sharing. We're going to start the show in about 1 minute. Feel free while you're waiting to click the share button and let people know that you're watching the show so that they can come. I don't even know where the hell I am now with this sharing. Because talking and sharing at the same time, when I go back to it, I forget what the last thing I was shared. So if I share in your group twice, I do apologize. And please forgive me. I know not what I do. There you go. That's my little singing ditty for today. Just sharing to Zell's group, the Daily Zealot. Chet says, I see Jussie Smollett working in Bubba Wallace's new pit crew. Yeah, I see that too. I wonder if he'll be suing him for racism or for plagiarism at least, because wasn't that his MO? His gig. We are nearly there with the sharing. It's so tedious. But if you guys won't do it, then I have to, unfortunately, which makes the show start just a little later. And I love the days when I can just click like bum, 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 but it's not one of those days today, unfortunately. Just got about 2 more to share, and then we will be getting started on the Xander Gibb show. Oh, yes, sirree. Conservatives United. If just a quick show of hands, type yes. Thank you, chat. I know you always share. Click yes if you've shared the show. I'm not going to share shame you, but click yes in the type yes if you shared the show. We are nearly there. Just sharing to Britain Awakens. Share to a group. Do you know what I see? Share to a group. What it reminds me of is Soup for a Group from Panera. Here we go. I think that's everything. Yes, sirree. We are all shared out. So, I declare the Xander Gibb show to be open.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday's episode of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandemonium Network, live from an undisclosed location. No, it's not your mom's basement. I am Xander Gibb, bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting 5 nights a week. On tonight's edition, I get on my soapbox, give you the chance to get on yours too. and we break down some of today's hottest, craziest topics. And in part two, Swoop Pharma, Swoop's World swoops down to join us. You can have your say in the feed below, and as usual, I'll be sharing your commentary as we go along, so keep it clean-ish. You'll be able to call us in our phone, and as I said, and you can follow me on social media and check me out at xandergibb.com. Are you guys following the new Xander Gibb show page? If you're not, go click on it now and show some love for the Xander Gibb show. Let's come to the live feed and say hello to everybody in there. My eyes. You know what? As I'm not going to be typing, let me make the page a little bigger so I can see your comments. Here we go. So hello to everyone in the live feed. Hello to Chet. Hello to my Gina. Hello to Mal. Hello to Swoop. Hello to Dave once more. His thing, Chet? What thing is that? Dave says he has fat fingers. Gina says thank you for your service, Dave. Absolutely, thank you for your service. Where are we? New comments. You used to be Bubba Wallace. Oh, you used to be like Bubba Wallace, Chet. I see that now. What does that say? Problem with sharing is that you're shadow banned by Facebook. I'm shadow banned by Facebook. At the end of each broadcast, because I go through not Rogaine, what are they called? OBS and Restream. I don't know where I got Rogaine from. Must have baldies on the brain. Yeah, I get a Restream report that says how many people have watched on each platform. And every time the number of reported views on Facebook is like a third of what it actually is. Because they obviously want me to get, pissed at the fact that they're doing this. Still working towards 2020 Vision, Zan. Yes, Chet, I am. But I kind of cheat when I'm off camera. There's a bit of a vanity issue, I suppose, for me. And yes, Dave, goats' lives do matter. All lives matter, unless you happen to be someone that wants to cause division in the community. We got time for some calls. If you're in the USA, you can call us on 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. And if you are calling from the United Kingdom, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. Chet says when he shares to 20 groups, he has no results. I know exactly what you mean. I have the same problem too, which is why they probably make me do it so frequently. Well, as in make it harder for me to do it. I think that's the point I had. So today, D.C. police cleared the streets just north of the White House where protesters tried to set up an autonomous zone last night. As you know, President Trump said that there will never be an autonomous zone in D.C. And when he shared that on Twitter today, Twitter actually censored him for that. They said that it was a threat of violence. We have a caller, if I can find the right mouse. And if it even connects. I don't think that connected. Please call back, caller. I think I know who it was. Here we go. Oh.
Xander.
Hello, Chet. You are live. I didn't know what it was doing. How is the world with you? How is sunny Long Island? And did you get more than 74 degrees today? Because we got that here in the UK today, which is like most surprising.
Really bad. It was in the I want to say it hit probably around 80, but it felt like 95 on Long Island because we get that real humidity, and it's miserable when it's like this. It was great for about a month. And I like it a little cooler. Do you like that? I mean, I do.
Yeah,
So
I do.
I can sleep with the window open as long as I have a good blanket. So that's kind of the situation. Dan, I wanted to call you tonight, and I had to because of the situation that we see with Bubba Wallace.
Right.
I think it's such a disservice to the black community when you have real change trying to be made by the President of the United States when he passed the First Act bill and nobody talks about it, when the black community has jobs going through the roof and nobody talks about it, and we have these haters that have big platforms like him and Jussie Smollett that try to paint middle America, white folks in America as blatant racists, and there's this big problem. And, I don't know where Jussie Smollett is right now, Xander. I don't think he's in jail.
No,
and I think
but he should
have been charged for a hate crime. And Bubba Wallace should be, too. Shame on him.
Right. Because you know that this is what I was joking about. Obviously, you kind of know the situation. Like on most garage doors, if you're not kind of posh enough to have like a remote garage opening system, you have like a hook of rope on the inside of the garage door, which enables you to pull it open and pull it closed. And he basically said that was. That was something racist and had been put there as if to say, to hang him. But wasn't that the most gross overreaction, Chet?
Yeah, well, that's what, and I think we see this a lot of the times, situations in New York as well. A Muslim girl that went on the subway and said people were throwing stuff at her and calling her, this, that, and the other because she was a Muslim, and we found out that wasn't real. A guy that burnt down a black church, I believe it was in California, and they were claiming it was white supremacists that put swastikas all over the church, and ended up being the black man that attended the church.
Right.
I don't know what it is, Xander, but there's something in the black community that is hung up on the idea that this country is full of hate and needs to change to the point where they will lie over anything. And, it's really sad because Bubba Wallace was a good dude, man. I used to root for him. I thought he was a stand-up guy. I never heard anything bad about him. I never heard about him going out and drinking and driving or hitting anybody or a lot of the things that these football players do. I never had any inkling that Bubba Wallace could possibly be a racist, but clearly he is. And make no mistake about it, Xander, when they're doing this, it shows them for who they are. They are the racists.
It does, and I think the concern is, for me, is that, it's kind of like the boy that cried wolf. I'm totally against racism. I won't even have the N-word said in my presence or on this show. So as most decent people would be. Hi, Carla. Welcome to the live feed. But I resent this faux racism that is being established, because ultimately what it does, it actually makes us out to be something that we're not. And I won't have this. I won't be called racist for disagreeing. I won't be called racist for having a perspective that is different from someone else's. And just because I disagree with Black Lives Matter doesn't mean I have an issue with black people. I have an issue with idiots, but I don't care what color they are. If you happen to be an idiot, then I have an issue with you regardless of the color of your skin.
But the extent that think about Jussie Smollett. I understand that the story right now is Bubba Wallace. Think about the extent, Xander, that he went in order to make Donald Trump look like all the Trump supporters were a bunch of racists. When he first said that, and the media, Xander, they were believing
frenzy.
They took it hook, line, and sinker right away.
Yeah.
And I said, what is here a bunch of Trump supporting rednecks doing down in South Side Chicago and negative 12 degrees over at a Subway shop waiting for Jussie Smollett? I mean, it's just it's unfathomable how these people can be so arrogant And you're telling me that the folks in the media didn't know he was BSing? Of course they did.
Oh, of course.
They knew it.
Why
They
is
just wanted to make us look bad over anything. And
Right.
it can cause, I think, hate crimes in the other way. And we should be looking to give these guys charges like that.
Oh, for sure. But you know who else should have been charged with that? Kamala Harris, because she upheld it all. And you can't tell me she didn't know that this was bullshit, you know? But she still has a job. She's still there on her knees, procrastinating about ridiculous things. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the live feed. It just really concerns me that these politicians that support this kind of stuff, they actually get away with it, and nothing is done to them. But to me, that if you try and make out a hate crime's been, it's one thing if it's happened, but if you try and make out that a hate crime has been perpetrated against you when it hasn't, you should be charged with that, because he's still trying to. Smollett is still trying to get off those charges, isn't he?
Of course he is. It drives me up the wall, Xander, because maybe I'll get some backlash for saying this. It seems like there is a problem with racism in the black community.
Right.
I'm sorry.
There is.
I can show videos up and down of black people attacking white people to the point of almost killing them. You have the knockout games here in New York when Hasidics and when Chinese were getting attacked. De Blasio went on TV and said, "Oh, it's because of white nationalism."
Oh, please.
But if you dug to the story and found out and looked, which I did, on the 12 accounts that happened to these Hasidics and then the 8 accounts that happened to the Chinese, guess what? They were all perpetrated by young black men.
Exactly.
And that's something that Bill de Blasio doesn't want to talk about.
No, because it doesn't fit their narrative. Black on black crime does not fit their narrative. Mal says, we're in the midst of a cultural civil war, my friends. False claims of America being a racist nation feeds the anti-American narrative. And I agree with that 200%. Hi, CV. Because I come back to the same thing all of the time. And that's that this is not, I don't think it's so much about making America look bad. It's about making Trump look bad, because they have nothing else for the election apart from trying to make him look bad. And they think that will get them elected. But I don't think it will. I don't think people are that stupid.
No, they're not. And I'll tell you, it drives me up the wall when I hear these leftists talking about racism with the Trump supporter. I know a lot of Trump supporters. CV, the guy that does the show with me, his wife's Jewish. Brian, the guy that does the show with me, he works with Latinos, blacks, you name it.
Right.
Where I work, there's everybody that works with me that is of Latino descent or of African American descent, I get along with all of them.
Right.
The issue is here for the left, they don't want that. And that's why you see the inner cities in the black community have charlatans that are running their communities. They don't give a damn about the black people that are being killed in those communities because the narrative wouldn't be there. And all the attacks are stemming from the minority communities.
Of course.
Can we finally say there's an issue here?
Yeah, well, look at the media and the lack of response with regards to how many people are killed every weekend in Chicago. That mayor, I mean, why is she? She's pissing and whining every week about it, but what is she actually doing about it? I think all of our politicians need to be called to task for their failures. But we just, not we, but the Democrats just seem to vote them back in again. And that's of concern to me, because surely in any job, I'm sure you get an evaluation. Obviously I work for myself, but when I've worked for an employer, I've always had an evaluation. Hi, Janie, welcome to the live feed. I've always had an evaluation.
Absolutely.
If you don't do your job well, they get you gone. So why is that not the same with blue state politicians? Why are people like Andrew Cuomo still in office? Why was he not removed after all of the people that died as a result of his failures? Why was he not removed?
Yeah, he's protected by the union, Xander. I mean, over here in New York, we're not going to see another Republican governor. I doubt it very much. John Lewis, Rep. John Lewis, when he passed away, there was a big how-to-do on the Hill. They gave him a great sending off. Before that, he had conflict with Donald Trump when Donald Trump talked about the rats that are in Baltimore, right?
Right.
This one woman from MSNBC went on the air, and she was talking to the folks on the street inside the Baltimore community where it was very violent and where you had a lot of this rhetoric coming out of there. And she was interviewing some elderly black man, and she said, I basically asked him, are you supporting Biden or are you supporting Bernie? And he said, I'm supporting Trump. What made you think I'm supporting Biden or Bernie?
Yeah.
And her face dropped, her mouth, and he said, you said that because you think I should only vote Democrat.
Yeah.
And she was a white girl.
Yeah.
And he said, let me tell you something about what Donald Trump said about the rats in Baltimore. He's right. And John Lewis hasn't been in our district for over 15 years. And you could hear people on the side agreeing with him and clapping.
Right.
And she walked away with her tail between her legs because she knew she got exposed.
I mean, this ideology, surely this is racism in itself. The ideology that are you black enough to vote Democrat? You know, even Joe Biden saying, you know, if you're not voting for me, then you ain't black. I mean, what a huge assumption that just because you happen to be black that you're going to vote for them. Hi, Pamela. Welcome to the live feed. You know,
that went
ridiculous.
away quick, didn't it, Xander? That
Yeah.
went away quick.
Yeah, it was covered up. But what that kind of dug up for us was all of the commentary from the past where he referred to black people as Negroes, and we don't want another Negro in Congress. We don't want another Negro in power. Well, I'm sorry, even if you're using the word Negro, we know what you mean, don't we?
Absolutely. We know
Because-
what he means, and we know what the Democrat Party means.
Yeah.
When they tell you you're not black if you don't vote Democrat. They want your ownership.
They do.
want to own you.
They do.
They want to own you, just like they did when they were heading up the KKK,
Yeah.
and just like they did when they were fighting for the Confederates. I mean,
Exactly.
listen, I'm not saying you can't be a Democrat and be black. God bless you if you are, but give yourself some options. I mean, like Donald Trump said, what can you lose? Try and vote for me. They haven't been doing it for you
Exactly.
for over 100
Exactly.
years. Let's move forward here.
Absolutely. Hi, Roger. Welcome to the live feed. I can't get over the statistic that with Donald Trump, we have the lowest black unemployment ever. I mean, ever. How racist is that? How racist are you, Donald Trump, if you have made an effort to ensure the black unemployment level is lowered? I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. Everyone has more money in their pockets, obviously, prior to this pandemic, that they seem to want to continue to extend. But the country is better off under Donald Trump, regardless of the color of your skin, you know?
Yeah, it's just a real worry that it's bad enough for somebody in the way that their hate and their heart is controlling them,
Right.
as to make up a fake hate crime. And
Yeah.
you see it over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's not just celebrities, it's not just actors, it's not just race car drivers. There's a lot of people that do this stuff, and the media doesn't talk about it because they don't want to admit that this narrative that they've been pushing
Right.
is completely wrong.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying racism doesn't exist.
Of course.
What I am saying is, if it's not there, don't go looking for it.
No, exactly. Pam just said on the live feed, and the FBI sent 15 agents to investigate the faux Bubba Noose racist attack. Love that title. Show us the video. But apparently, there are no videos. There's no security footage
Right.
in the area, which just makes me scratch my head and go, bullshit. Because, surely they don't want their cars stolen or tampered with. And at least if you have it on
Right.
CCTV, then these things are not going to happen, so often. Because it's a
they've already
deterrent.
admitted what he's done. I don't know why they would hold that video unless it showed something else, which you never know.
Right.
It might show other people were involved. It's just really sad because the narrative today, Xander, before Bubba got exposed on CNN and others, was that race car fans are racist. They're a bunch of ignorant hicks. that like the Confederate flag and vote for Trump and this, that, and the other, and they're just a bunch of idiots that go to these race car events and they're racist. And the only racist in the discussion is Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
I mean, that blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And I kind of think that ultimately a lot of this racism is kind of self-perpetuating. I'm not saying that that makes it right, but do you know what they've managed to do is they've managed to bring the skinheads and the Nazis to the fore, whereas we kind of stamped them out to a point. I mean, they were around on social media and things like that, but they have this is what I choose to term as self-perpetuating racism. Because I think a lot of people think, you know what, you're gonna treat me like a racist, I'm gonna act like a racist. I don't excuse it.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, a lot of these young impressionable kids that may live in these communities where they're treated like dog crap, and then the media is constantly saying you're a racist because you're white. Eventually, they get pushed over the edge,
right?
And they start looking like American History X. And that's where the danger is going to come in. This has not hit fever pitch yet. There is going to be a pushback from another side of the country that is going to scare the crap out of Jake Tapper and the rest of those morons, because they don't know how real it really is.
No,
it is real.
No, and when you see people like Don Lemon, you know, who is the biggest racist. You know, it's funny, isn't it? He hates white people, but his boyfriend is white. You know, I don't get that ideology. I really don't.
Well, who do you think? Do you think Don gives or takes? What do you think? I think he probably gives.
I don't want to speculate on that. But do you know what just went through my mind when you said about American History X? Do you remember that scene in American History X where he told him to bite the pavement? And then he stepped on his skull. And you know, every time I think of that movie, my teeth go, oh, you know. And that wasn't.
It's a true story too. It's a true story.
Is it? I didn't realize that.
I read the book by the gentleman, and he turned his life around.
Yeah.
Because he believed. The reason he believed all this is because it was handed down by his father, and he lived in an area where there was a lot of minorities in L.A., and this is the way they got by.
Right.
Was kind of being a gangster that had the swastika and the bald head and all that. That stuff is real, man.
Right.
I've seen it. I've been in West Virginia and seen it, Xander. It's not fake.
But
and
isn't
Folks,
racism?
they don't know what they're dealing with.
No. But isn't racism learned, Chet? You know, you're a parent. You know, kids see things and stuff, and kids pick up on things. So if you're not a racist, and your kid says the N-word or something like that, you know, you chastise them verbally right away to kind of show them that it's wrong. But I don't think kids see color. Kids don't say, like, you know, I'll give you an example. About 25 years ago, I'd gone on the underground, and this big Jamaican guy had shouted at me because I didn't have the right ticket. And I said to my sister, oh, you know, this big black guy frightened the life out of me. And she said, why did I need to know his color? And I said, well, I'm not racist. She said, no, but we all have this kind of, not inbuilt racism, but inbuilt need to kind of over-explain, which can come out as looking like racism.
Yeah, there's definitely some great psychology there, but what you see happening now with these kids is they're learning this from the television, and they're learning it from the news sources and the Democrat Party, that all white people are racist. All of them, every single one. They should have white guilt. They should beg for forgiveness, and we should give them our land and our money over my dead body.
Yeah,
no way.
cold, clammy hands time. But hi to Renee. Welcome to the live feed. Doesn't it make you kind of feel a little odd when they've got all these videos of white people kissing black people's feet? Nobody should be kissing anyone's feet, you know? We are all equal. We're all equal. And so to do that is demeaning to all involved.
It's disgusting. I wouldn't listen. I don't care if I was a black American that was behind this movement. First of all, I wouldn't be behind a movement like this. But I wouldn't have people kissing my feet. I mean, come on, man. This is 2020 and this is what we're doing? You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, people need to get their shit together here. We had a country that was booming. Everything was going great. But because they wanted to take Donald Trump out of office so bad. And the fact of the matter is they were sacrificing everything
Right.
that we had gained, which shows you they don't want America to succeed. It's the last thing they want.
But it's already kind of having a knock-on effect and coming to bite them back in the ass. Because I don't know if I read this today that $1 billion investment firm Smead Capital Management announced they're moving their headquarters from Seattle to Phoenix as a response to all of this trouble in Seattle. So they're losing in every possible way. You know, businesses are pulling out of these areas because they don't want to be in problem states, which I totally get. Because how can you operate fully in a state that's got all this crap going on?
You can't. And the fact of the matter is, you know, they brought this upon themselves, but their ideology and their hatred for the president and for us, I mean, you know, the president represents us. Okay?
Yeah, he does.
So it means they hate you. They hate you. And the fact of the matter is, when you see this happening in these Democrat liberal hellholes, shortly you'll see the police go away. You'll see the true patriots getting out of there, and you can't blame them.
No.
And all of a sudden, you have, you know, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome as one of our cities.
Yeah, don't get me singing songs from Mad Max. Hi, Shelley. I hope you're good, and I hope the babies are good too. Shelley in the house. You know, one of the things that really kind of bothered me recently, you know, when Barack Obama was president, everyone laid off, and quite rightly so, laid off his kids because his kids are not, you know, they were off limits. So there's been this kind of trend.
Not his.
Well, the kids that he claimed were his were off limits.
Sorry, I had to say it.
Yeah, the crisis actor kids that he brought to the White House with him. But the point I'm making is that, you know, there's been this kind of trend towards attacking Barron again. And Melania's spokeswoman said today it was inappropriate and insensitive to keep kind of bringing, you know, commenting on the kid. Because let's face it, it's just he's off limits. Don't you think?
Absolutely, he's off limits. He should have been from day one. I mean, we had Peter Fonda saying he hoped he was put in a cage with pedophiles. I mean, these people are very sick. And Barron Trump didn't ask for this. You know what? He's a kid. And you know what? From what I see, he's a quiet kid. He's well-mannered. He dresses good because he's a Trump, of course. He keeps his, you know, he represents the family very well.
He does. And he's so freaking tall. Isn't he tall? He's taller than both of them. Hi, Ray. Welcome to the live feed.
He's a big boy, definitely. But, you know, the thing is, all Trump's kids they're just all success stories, all of them. They've all done some really great things. And when you look over on the other side of the aisle, you see de Blasio's daughter getting arrested because she's an anarchist.
Yeah.
You see Obama's daughter skipping out on college and going to some hippie fest and smoking pot. You see all these degenerates on the left. And, you know, I'm not going to get into Chelsea Clinton. She says hello to the Satanic Church. Let's not even go there. But the fact of the matter is,
you mean
Trump
Chelsea
has
Hubble?
a pretty good family. He's raised some great kids. And the fact that America never shines a light on that, or shines a light on what a great first lady that we have, that should tell you everything you need to know about how disingenuous they are.
Wait, were you referring to Chelsea Hubble?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I thought you probably were.
Yeah, how come all the kids are not really the president's kids?
I know.
You know that with the Democrats? They're all like other people's kids.
There's no doubting that who Don and Eric belong to because they look like him, and obviously Barron. But who was it that said this week as well? Some idiot. I don't even know who they were that were saying, oh, I wonder who Barron will be celebrating Father's Day with us, if to say that Donald Trump wasn't his father. I mean, leave the kid alone.
Like him.
Oh, he's the image of him.
Like Trump. He looks like Donald Trump. I mean,
He does.
Go look at an old picture of Donald Trump when he was a child, and he looks just like Barron Trump. So that's just stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it seems ridiculous to me, but it's funny, you know, have a go at the bigger kids if you want to, because Eric and Don Jr. will kind of, you know, they'll kick your ass, they'll kind of, they can deal with it. But don't pick on an innocent kid who's done absolutely nothing wrong. And you know, guys, I think out there we should all be jumping on this. You know, just as, you know, I don't have kids. You know, I have a couple of goats, but we'll save that for a different show. But, you know, if I saw someone attacking your kids, Chet, I would be just as pissed, you know? Kids are off the, you know, Uncle Xander would be in there, you know, threatening to send the guys round with their pocketbooks to sort them out. We do have to leave it. That's an image for you, isn't it? Don't mess with my friend's kids, or I'll send the gay mafia around to your house. We got to leave it there, chat. Thank you so much for calling in. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Have a great night. Use some air conditioning and think of me, because we don't have it here in the UK, unfortunately.
I'm trying. You know, you're saying this now as I'm in the bedroom, and the air conditioning is acting a little funky, so I got to check out what's going on.
Really?
Hopefully it's not.
You got to clean the filter, dude. Take it from me. You got to clean the filter.
All right, I will.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chet.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you check out freedomondeck.com and Freedom on Deck on Facebook. Him, CV, and Brian do their show on Sundays, 3 to 5 on News Now and Stimulating Talk for Long Island. You see, I've remembered it now. So my next guest, I'm going to start his introduction, but he needs no introduction. He's a regular on the show. He is a good friend of mine. He is Swoop from Swoop's World, and he will be calling us any second from the good old US of A. Let's have a quick look at the live feed. I love you too, Shelly. I hope you're good, and I hope the babies are doing good. I love seeing the pictures of your new grandbabies. It's always great to see, and they're getting so big. You know, I like them a little older. I like kids a little older. I like the ones that can make coffee safely and can do a little housework. And you know, that's the best thing for me. I'm joking. Of course, I like them to be able to vacuum too, because that's what kids are for. Don't worry, Ray. You didn't miss too much of it. We always start a little early. This should be my first guest, Mr. Swoop from Swoop's World, calling us from the United States of America. Welcome back to the show, Swoop. How is the world with you, and how is your mouth?
It's sore, but I'm doing well, man. We're doing good.
Good.
There, and, you know, it's a couple hours in the dentist chair today, but I'm doing all right, brother.
So did the dentist wear a hazmat suit? Getting a little feedback there. Hello? I think we lost Swoop. Are you there, Swoop? No, we lost Swoop. Thanks to Skype. I'm hoping he's going to call us right back. Where are we? Here we go. Hi, Swoop. Sorry about that. We lost you for a second.
All right. Is this any better?
Yes, it is. Yeah, we're just getting a little bit of feedback, which happens. I never know if it's someone's phone or if it's Skype or whatever it is. So there's been a lot going on in the States lately. Are you sitting scratching your head at the lunacy of it all?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I think most people are doing. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. A lot of the stuff's going on. We're trying to cancel everything that ever existed, reform the U.S. It's pretty disgusting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I'm sure you just heard the conversation between Chet and myself with regards to the fact that they're trying to build this ideology that America is totally racist. And it kind of scares me, in all honesty, because we should be stamping out racism that's out there. But it's kind of the current climate is trying to say everyone who's white is racist, which is obviously not true.
Well, it's not only not true. They're trying to say things are worse than they've ever been. I mean, I think some of these people just talk to their grandparents, who lived through Jim Crow.
Yeah.
And their great grandparents who were actual slaves. And tell me that things are so much worse. And then to create a situation where they're claiming that all people of a certain race have a certain opinion. Well, that's racist in itself. So
yeah.
to call you racist every time you have a difference of opinion, that's racist in itself. So we're in a weird situation right now. It's a weird time, but there are people who push this agenda, and that's how they make their living. That's how they make their money. And
right.
What they want to do is they're the real slave owners.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And
they absolutely are.
They're keeping people under their wing.
They absolutely are, and I think the Democrats have a real cheek with trying to spread this narrative. And the thing about Black Lives Matter, all of the money that's going into that organization is being directly funneled into the DNC. I mean, how stupid do people have to be to keep supporting organizations of this ilk? Because I don't think it really represents black people.
Well, there's several things there. Well, one is, you're talking about the same people who don't read articles; they just read the headlines when they get sent to them on Twitter or Facebook.
Right.
And then they make these statements, and you're like, "Did you even read the first paragraph?" If you look at their website, I mean, the founders basically say they're students of the Marxism. They're Marxist ideology. What they really want to do is what the former president said, fundamentally change America. And
exactly.
That's what their goal is. And you're right, all their money goes to politicians on the left, the far left, and organizations on the far left. And so when people are contributing to what they believe is the Black Lives Matter, it gets funneled elsewhere. So people don't do their homework.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I thought we lost you. I'm going to start an organization called Gay Lives Matter. Do you think I'll be able to get some donations from that and funnel it into President Trump's new campaign?
Well, if you say Black Gay Lives Matter, you maybe might be able to get a piece of that action. But I don't think you're going to get it with just Gay Lives Matter, because you have privilege.
Yeah, gay people have privilege, so I have gay privilege and white privilege now. I think I lost all of that in the last move, Swoop.
Say that last one again.
I said I think I lost my gay privilege and my white privilege in the last move, and also they took back my fat badge, so I don't have any gay privilege anymore. So it's just not happening here, unfortunately. I want to jump right in.
They made you return the card.
Yeah, they did. They said, "Give us your fat badge back, because if you support Donald Trump, you are definitely not gay." But that's fine. I never kind of wanted it anyway. It never got me. It never did anything for me. And in all honesty, all it did was kind of give other people the ideology that I agreed with everything that other gay people said, and that was never the case. But that's just where I'm coming from right now. Hi, Susan. Welcome to the show. I want to jump right into a topic before I get myself into lots of trouble. And we have all the gays writing in and saying that Xander is homophobic again. So President Trump threatened protesters who toppled statues with arrest and lengthy prison sentences after a night of protests in front of the White House, in which some demonstrators attempted to tear down a statue of President Andrew Jackson. I've authorized the federal government to arrest anyone who vandalizes or destroys any monument, statue, or other such federal property in the U.S. with up to 10 years in prison for Veterans Memorial Preservation Act or such other laws that may be pertinent. President Trump tweeted this on Tuesday morning. The statue of Andrew Jackson stands in Lafayette Square, which is located directly across from the White House complex. Now, according to federal law, damage to federal property that exceeds $100 could result in a prison sentence of up to 10 years and a fine of up to $250,000, although it would be rare for a judge to impose the full term. Now, cases involving graffiti are usually prosecuted as misdemeanors, and many of the statues targeted by protesters in recent weeks belong to the states and would not be covered under the federal statute. That's statute, not statue. So what do you make of this? Swoop, do you think it will serve as a deterrent, or will they kind of still carry on with this meaningless violence?
Deterrent, no. These people they're not deterred by anything. I do think, and there's good reason they're not deterred. Like you said, most of these statues and things have been done on state property, and these DAs are just releasing people, excuse me, that have been arrested for these things, just releasing them back out without any charges being filed in a lot of cases. So there's no reason to be deterred. You do find out where you stand when you do stuff on federal property. When you violate federal laws, it's a whole new ballgame. So if they do try to do something on federal property, they will probably be arrested and prosecuted. So I doubt that they get the full extent of the law, but still, they get a little record started, a federal record started, and have to pay restitution and whatnot. I don't understand the meaning behind all this stuff, and I don't understand the reason that we have just given up on prosecuting people who are committing these crimes. Burning down buildings, knocking down, looting and tearing down statues all fall in the same category. You're vandalizing and burglarizing places that don't belong to you.
Right. I think an interesting byproduct of all of this is that all of these blue sticks that have had so much damage, they now want federal funding to be able to sort these things out. But they're not going to get it. And I totally agree. Why, if they've sat idly and let these things, how should the taxpayers' money be used to pay for these things to be rectified?
I understand some of the federal funding for situations and some of this. I do think the states need to do their part. And then some of these states are overreaching. Some of these states are trying to get federal funding in this time period, even with the COVID stuff, after they've poorly run their states all these years.
Yeah.
They've run them into the ground, and they're looking for the federal government to bail them out. No, we're not going to bail you out because you mismanaged your state. But if there's repercussions from the riots and things like that, if you do your part, do your prosecutions and stuff like that, I can see where the federal government would step in and give you some funds that are allocated for that.
Right. I mean, a lot of people think that it's unfair to have like a blanket policy of no funds for the states that have sat on their ass and done nothing to prevent it. They took down the statue today of Teddy Roosevelt, but they were that was at the state's request. So to me, what is the difference? What is the difference between the state doing it and these kind of Antifa idiots doing it? Surely it's just as bad.
Well, it's horrible. It's pandering, and it's this agenda that's been put forth for years, and now they're acting on it. I'm waiting to hear them say they want to get rid of Mount Rushmore. This writer today, Sean King, I think is his name. He's talking about you need to get rid of all the chief pieces. So
yeah,
this is a play to destroy the country. And then listen, these people, all these people who are so outspoken about these things and making all these comments are successful. They're successful people. So where has racism stopped you from achieving your goals? Where has racism stopped you from being the person you want to be? Does racism exist? Yeah. Does it fundamentally stop you from achieving the things you want to do if you want to work hard and study and put back some effort in what you want to do? No. It's not going to make, listen, if not for racism, I'd be in the NBA? No.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. You know what? But it doesn't stop you from achieving your goals. There's a study years ago where they interviewed a ton of black people, and they asked them, does racism exist? Yes. Does it affect you? How does it affect you in your daily life? It doesn't.
No.
And these people that are trying to make it sound like everything you do, everything you don't get to achieve is because of racism. No.
Yeah.
Everybody has equal opportunity. That doesn't guarantee equal outcome.
Yeah, there was I don't know if you got this in America, but there's an actor called Sacha Baron Cohen, and he plays this character called Ali G. And Ali G is kind of like, he's a kind of black wannabe guy. And every time somebody asks him to do something, he says, is it because I'm black? Which makes me howl, because, this is a standard response of so many young black people. Are you arresting me because I'm black? No, I'm arresting you because you broke the law,
Yeah. There's so many. I know who Ali G is, and I've seen his acts and stuff like that, and I've heard him actually get interviewed. Sacha Cohen get interviews a lot of times, and I think it's kind of funny. There's
me
too. He goes
too.
off the rails, but I think he's kind of funny, and I think people have gotten this position now where if you are, especially with Black Lives Matter, if you are black, you can do no wrong.
Yeah.
You can tear down buildings. You can beat up some guy in Macy's. You can, claim that you've been discriminated against at a racetrack. That so-called noose, that garage door opener to loop,
Yeah.
been there for over a year.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to sign that garage just recently. So, everybody sees the boogeyman around the corner, and it's not there. It's not there. But if you want to see that, that's all you're going to see. And there's a certain segment of our society, a certain group of people that want you to see that everywhere you go, so they can control you from cradle to grave.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I checked today. I've got one of those in my garage too. Is someone being racist towards me? Who do I call? Ghostbusters, maybe. But I think the concern is that when people see people in the media doing things like this, it actually provides a false narrative as to the way the situation is. I mean, do I think there's racism out there? Absolutely. There's discrimination of all kinds, and it needs to stop. But do I think it's at the level that they're trying to paint it? Absolutely not. I saw someone on Twitter saying that, who was it? Ice Cube. He said, or Ice Boob, as we're calling him on this show now. He said, all black people deserve reparations for slavery. They shouldn't pay taxes for 472 years as a response to that. I mean, I don't know where he plucked that figure from, obviously out of his ass. But I don't know anyone that's alive today that's actually still affected by slavery. I mean, do you?
No. And I love it when multi-millionaires are demanding reparations. That's a hoot.
Yeah.
So no, nobody. Listen, you know who deserves reparations for slavery? Slaves.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you can find one that's still alive, and you want to throw him, give him 40 acres and a mule. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
Great point. Absolutely a great point. I want to just move on very quickly to this last topic. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the live feed. So this kind of tickled me from this last weekend. President Trump's press secretary defended his calling of the coronavirus the Kung flu at a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma over the weekend. Now, the origin of the virus is China, spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany said at a briefing on Monday. It's a fair thing to point out as China tries to ridiculously rewrite history, ridiculously blame the coronavirus on American soldiers. This is what China is trying to do. While President Trump is saying, no, China! I will label the virus for its place of origin. McEnany was asked to respond to Asian Americans who might have been offended by Trump's use of the racial slur. The president has said very clearly it's important that we protect our Asian community in the U.S. and around the world. The press secretary also said they're amazing people and the spreading of the virus is not their fault. It's not a discussion about Asian Americans, who the president values and prizes as citizens of this great country. She also said that Trump said to cheers from a partially filled arena, I named 19 different versions of names of this virus. So my first question to you is the phrase Kung flu racist? And number two, was it hella funny?
I guess that's a good question. I don't see racism in everything, and I don't think it's racist. I don't know why. I think he was trying to make a joke, and it's kind of funny. But here's the thing: everybody's trying to change the name because the thing was originally called the Wuhan virus. They said that was racist, and Wuhan is where originally we were told it started from. Every virus you can look at over the years. It's labeled by where it came from. Ebola, Spanish flu. You go down the line. It's where it came from. So now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, now this is racist, and then you can't call it the Wuhan virus. You can't call it the China virus. And he made the joke the Kung flu. I think, like I said, there's people. This is their agenda to find everything they can and say it's racist. And to beat people down and have them submit to their way of thinking.
Yeah, I actually, when I heard him say it, I kind of peed my pants because I thought it was pretty funny. And I would be the first person to cry anything I thought was racist. But the thing is, sometimes I wear a comedian's hat. And it's got to the point now where you're not allowed to say anything because it offends somebody. I just don't know where we draw the line because humor is humor, and that was damn funny. What was even funny was when he did that with the glass of water and he threw it across the stage. I mean, if when he's finished being president, he might have a bit of a career in stand-up. Not a small career, but a big career, a huge big league career.
It'd be a huge career.
Yeah, huge, very big league. We're going to build a career. We're going to build a big career. You see, now a lot of people would say, oh, that's offensive to the president. Do you know, as far as I'm concerned, as long as I'm not too disrespectful, I will joke about President Trump. I always have. I always used to say on the show, when I get invited to the White House, and they say, do you want a cup of tea, Xander? And I'm like, yeah. And President Trump's going to turn around and say, no, Melania, don't give it to Xander in a mug. You have to get out the best China. But apparently that's offensive too. So we can't win. What do you think the general rule of thumb is this? Is there a ceiling with regards to what's considered funny and what's considered racism? Or do we just have to take it with each particular example?
I think we just take it with each particular example. The thing is where does it stop? I heard they're taking off episodes of 30 Rock because they might have said something in the past. Jimmy Kimmel was in trouble for skits he did on the Man Show, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
You watched the live version of the remake of All in the Family, where they actually working with the original script, and they're bleeping out words on TV.
Right.
So, I think we've gotten to a point here where humor is on its way out because unless you want to just tell good old wholesome jokes,
exactly,
two for tea or whatever, the old vaudeville stuff, and you really can't have an opinion and and share it in a humorous way anymore.
You absolutely can. And that's a great way to leave it, apart from, can you sing us the first verse to Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting? Ha!
All I remember is they were fast as lightning.
Yeah, they sure were. Tell people where they can find you, Swoop, and when they can listen to your show, if it's back on the air, and where they can find you.
Yeah, find us at Swoops World Facebook page and swoopsworld.com. And the show is, one part of the show will be coming back next month, and the other part of a newer version of the show will probably be coming back towards the end of next month. So we're excited and ready to get back on and be on the air.
Absolutely. Be sure to come back really soon and tell us about the show. But for now, my brother, take care. I hope your mouth feels better. Get some oil of cloves in your mouth, and just make sure you're not exposed to any Kung Flu or any other viruses this week.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Pleasure.
Thanks a lot, my friend. Take care. That was Swoop from Swoop's World. Make sure you check him out on Facebook and also on his show, swoopsworld.com, which is back next week. Thanks to everyone who's made today's show possible. Oh, that was funny, that singing Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting. Ha! I might go and have a chop now after this show, but a pork chop, and I hope that doesn't offend our Jewish listeners. Not had your fill of the Gibster. You can check me out 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 6 Eastern, and 1 a.m. in the UK, and 12 midday down there in Australia. On Wednesday's show, Julio Rivera joins us. Thanks again to Swoop. Thanks to Chet for calling in. It is always a pleasure. Thanks to everyone in the live feed. Too many to name. I really do love you all. Please click the share button before you go so that everybody can know that you've been watching the Xander Gibb Show. For a chance to be entered into our prize draw, everybody that shares the show will be entered into a draw to be able to win a prize to be announced. I've been Xander Gibb, and you have been amazing, and I really do love you all. Bye-bye.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were never bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show. Oh, yes, sirree.